Good morning. It's November 23rd today, and we're in First Peter 2, and I'm going to be reading verses 9 and 10. I think I say this a lot, but these are two of my very favorite verses because they really succinctly say what our intention was, what God intended for us, therefore telling us what our identity is. He tells us who we are, and then he tells us what we're supposed to do with who we are. So our identity and our purpose are both said very clearly here in a wonderful way in First Peter 2, 9, and 10. It says this. But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light. Once you were not a people, but now you are the people of God. Once you had not received mercy, but now you have received mercy. And this is certainly an echo of Exodus 19:6, where Moses says, or God says through Moses to the people, that they're going to be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. And I just recently taught on this for our Iron Men here at the church. And actually, I was teaching on Jonah, but this verse came up there to talk about purpose. And there's a lot of things we could talk about here, but one of those is a royal priesthood. And this seems like a contradictory idea if we understand our Old Testament, because the priests and the kings came from different lines. So how could you have a royal priest? They had to be, in order to be a priest, you had to be from the tribe of Levi. In order to be royal, you had to be from the tribe of Judah. So those seem to be mutually exclusive, although Jesus brings those two things together, and he is a royal priest. And then we get to follow in that footstep as well. So what does it mean to be a priest? A priest is somebody who represents God to the people who are around him. And so we get the opportunity, as the purpose statement says here, to declare the excellencies of him who called us out of darkness into his marvelous light. And that's a big part of what a priest does, is to declare the excellencies of God, or the wonderful things of God, as it says here. And another big thing that this brings up then is attention that we have, because we're supposed to bring the things of God to the people around us, and yet we're also supposed to be a holy nation. And holy also implies separation, implies not being tainted by the world around us, set apart, called to something different, without blemish or spot. And so it's very difficult, I think, to walk that line as a Christian, as a person of God, to be in the world but not of the world. This is certainly something that Israel struggled with throughout its history. How is it supposed to maintain its cultural identity in the midst of all those who were living amongst them, and especially the idolatry that they were constantly surrounded by? We have that same tension, I think, in the lives that we live too. We live in a world that has all kinds of cultural things that are contrary to the things of God. And so the world is at odds with God's kingdom. And so we have to make a lot of choices about how do we represent God well, but also not be stained by the world around us. It's easy to fall off in one direction or the other. But God has called us to walk in that tension, and he doesn't resolve it for us. He just tells us to be in the world, but not of the world. We need to be both of those things. And so I love these verses just because they give us that. Also, there's an echo of Micah here. Once you were not a people, but now you are the people of God. Sorry, it's not Micah. It's another of the minor prophets. And it's really echoing that fact that God did something special for us. He called us out of the world, just like he did with the Israelites, calling them out of Egypt. He also called us and called us to be the people of God too. So it's a unique and wonderful privilege that we get to be part of his family.